From Donald Trump paying hush money to keep his alleged affair under wraps, to John F. Kennedy being involved with multiple women during his marriage, these are the most controversial president affairs.
And then we fell in love, okay? No, really. He wrote me beautiful letters, and they're great letters. We fell in love.
Let's kick things off with the latest former president to join this list. Yep, I'm talking about Donald Trump and his infamous affair. Now, the former president is back in the news, and just like always, it's for the wrong reasons. This time, Trump is accused of falsifying business records, and as it turns out, the reason behind the charge is not innocent at all. Let me give you guys a quick rundown of what it's about. Back in 2016, adult film star Stormy Daniels offered media outlets her account of the affair she had with Trump in 2006. The affair apparently took place when the former president's wife, Melania Trump, was pregnant. Yikes, that's messed up for so many reasons. When Donald's team got wind of this, his former fixer and lawyer, Michael Cohen, paid $130,000 to Stormy to keep her quiet. Now, Cohen has stated that he was just acting at Trump's request and that the former president reimbursed him for the money. Like his predecessors, Trump has claimed that there was nothing going on between him and Daniels. Yeah, that's kind of hard to believe.
I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it. But this is what the end result is.
Since it's not the first time the former president has been accused of keeping extramarital affairs, at least 26 women have come forward with different allegations against Trump. But while Trump is Trump, there were still some skeletons in the next president's closet. Yup, I'm talking about Franklin D. Roosevelt. It's not a secret that Franklin's marriage with Eleanor Roosevelt had its own problems to begin with. I mean, the couple gave each other space to make romantic friendships outside of marriage. In a nutshell, their marriage was quite unorthodox. Later on, it was revealed that the true love of the former president was a woman by the name of Lucy Mercer. Eleanor discovered the affair when she found love letters the couple had written to each other among her husband's things. She then threatened Franklin with divorce. In those days, folks, adultery was tolerated, but divorce was a disaster. Fearing for his political reputation, the former president promised that he would never see Lucy. But of course, Franklin used every chance he got to see the love of his life. Although the couple had a civil marriage for the sake of public image, in reality, things were anything but civil between them. It's even believed that Lucy was right next to Franklin while he was on his deathbed. That's true love, I guess. But that's not all, guys. Even George H.W. Bush wasn't the most faithful partner to his wife. The former president had a storybook romance with his wife Barbara Bush. The two of them were married for 73 years. Now, that's something you don't get to see nowadays, if I'm being honest. But as it turns out, everything was not as picture perfect as it seemed. In a biography that was published back in April 2019, The Matriarch, Barbara Bush and the Making of an American Dynasty, it was revealed that the former First Lady had battled depression and suicidal thoughts, all because her husband was having an affair with one of his personal aides, Jennifer Fitzgerald, in the 1970s. The rumors around the affair went on for years, but whenever George would be asked about it in his interviews, he would immediately label it as a lie. Another biographer even alleged that the affair continued for almost 18 years. That being said, John F. Kennedy is probably the least surprising entry on this list. Well, where do I start with this one? No doubt, John certainly did incredible things for the country, including preventing a war with Russia. But throughout his 10-year marriage with Jackie Kennedy, the guy had his fair share of extramarital affairs. I mean, you can't even count the number of women he slept with. From White House workers to movie stars to gangster wives to goodness knows who else, he had been with them all. And what's worse is the fact that the former president wasn't even secretive about it. Rumors are that back then, it wasn't really that controversial for the president to have extramarital affairs, but JFK really pushed the line. Even the press was aware of it all, but chose to remain silent. I mean, who would want to risk going against the president, right? That's one person nobody wants to have as an enemy. Not only that, but it was rumored that Kennedy was involved with Marilyn Monroe, the actress, especially after she famously serenaded him at his 45th birthday. Some conspiracy theorists have even said that it was John's infidelities that led to his assassination. It's safe to say that while JFK might have been a great president, the guy was definitely not a good monogamist. Moving on, let's talk about Bill Clinton and the White House interns. Now, Bill went through what is probably the most publicized affair in history, so I'm pretty sure you guys would have heard about this at some point in your life, but still, let me give you a quick rundown of their affair.
I wish you great happiness here. There will be tough times made even more difficult by criticism you may not think is fair. I'm not a very good one to give advice, but just don't let the critics discourage you or push you off course.
The relationship between Clinton and Monica Lewinsky began in 1995 and lasted for about 18 months, while the former president was married to Hillary Clinton. During this time, both parties exchanged gifts with each other and were intimate. After the White House staff noticed that Monica hung around the Oval Office too much, they decided to transfer her to the Pentagon. Now, it was at the Pentagon that Lewinsky met Linda Tripp while working at the Public Affairs Office. She then began to disclose details of her and Clinton's relationship with Tripp, which was a major mistake on her part. You guys want to know why? Well, Linda had started to record Monica's conversations about the affair. When the news of the extramarital affair went public, people just couldn't believe it. To no one's surprise, both of the parties went on record to deny the whole thing, but the numerous phone calls and that incriminating blue dress proved otherwise. Left with no choice, the former president appeared on national TV and apologized for his behavior. Still, his reputation never recovered.
So when he's going to be inaugurated, I was going as a former first lady.
Right.
That was the reason I was there. I was no longer in the Senate. I was secretaries of state don't usually attend.
Now, this video wouldn't be complete if I didn't mention the next president. Yup, Dwight D. Eisenhower and his affair with his driver. Yeah, you heard that right. Now, good old Ike had a lot on his plate. I mean, things can get pretty stressful when you have to lead the Allied forces during World War II. But as it turns out, the former president had found a pretty escape. When Dwight was overseas checking in on the status of the war, he fell for his young personal driver, Kay Summersby. It didn't take long for allegations to begin that the two of them were having an affair. Several people have said that the former model really brightened up Dwight's mood, so much so that Dwight was ready to come back to the United States to divorce his wife, Mamie Eisenhower, just so he could marry Kay. Obviously, that didn't sit too well with the higher-ups, who couldn't afford a scandal like this. Thankfully for the government, the affair between the two ended when the war concluded and Dwight returned to the USA. In 1976, as Summersby was dying of cancer, she decided to publish a book of memoirs of the war years. And guys, it was literally titled Past Forgetting: My Love Affair with Dwight D. Eisenhower. It's not like anyone could really deny the affair between them after that. It seems that the truth is always revealed in a book. Well, there you have it. Those were the most controversial president affairs.
Doing can be done alone. This is a particularly disorienting time for billions of people in the world. You've got major uncertainties about what's going to happen in the years ahead. At a time like that, you really need good leadership skills.